Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about cross-curricular connections using literature to support key concepts and ideas being taught in other subject areas. We're going to be going over 5 subtopics. We're going to start with cross-curricular planning, utilizing cross-curricular planning in different grade ranges, how it aligns to standards, differentiated and diverse instruction within cross-curricular instruction, and examples of cross-curricular lessons. So what is cross-curricular instruction? It is important that we always define new terms or new vocabulary. Just remember that we could have new learners in the classroom or who have never heard of these terms or new vocabulary, and just we are new learners today. So Merriam-Webster defines cross-curricular learning as relating to or involving different courses offered by a school. Heidi Jacobs defines it as a conscious effort to apply knowledge, principles, and or values to more than one academic discipline simultaneously. Now that we have looked at 2 definitions on the topic today, let's explore why cross-curricular instruction should be integrated into the classroom. We're going to be looking at 3 ways that cross-curricular planning or CC planning is it's important, valued, and beneficial in the classroom. CC planning connects and intertwines each subject area. Cross-curricular instruction may seem overwhelming at first because of all the different avenues and integrations that a teacher can take. Try to keep it simple by starting with one main topic, question, or idea, and then brainstorm how to incorporate other subject areas. Concept maps can be very helpful with visualizing what connections can be made, while making sure to stick to the main topic when developing your unit or lesson plans on cross-curricular instruction. ELA is probably the easiest subject to connect to all different subjects for students in all subject areas are reading and writing, or can easily incorporate reading and writing. For example, when you go to a grocery store, you might use a map, geography. Next, you need to assess what you need versus what you don't need. Economics. Lastly, you might need to calculate your expenses according to your budget, which is math, all of which are important life skills, and CC instruction supports this. So those are real life examples on how we would use all different subject areas in our daily life and why it's important to use cross-curricular education in our classrooms. So why is CC instruction valuable? It builds critical thinking for it challenges students to reflect on knowledge from various subjects, encourage to think critically, analyze information, synthesize ideas, and problem solve, all of which build critical thinking. CC instruction has great value not only for students, but also for teachers. CC planning instruction allows space to create lessons that are more interactive, engaging for students and teachers. And then, how is CC planning beneficial? It integrates subjects and combines lessons, saving time and making valuable connections for the students. It also saves time for the teachers. For example, in one 45-minute class period, you can share information about World War II history, have students read a book or article from that time period, which is reading, and then have students write a diary entry having the point of view of someone during World War II. And just like that, you have combined 3 subjects into one lesson. So we're going to utilize cross-curricular planning in each grade range. In the K-3 classroom, one of the easiest ways to combine CC instruction is by combining reading instruction into other subject areas. For example, during reading time, teachers can read aloud a picture book on science, social studies, health, or math. Teachers can also pick a historical mathematician or scientist such as Albert Einstein and find a kid-friendly picture book that tells about his life and major accomplishments. By doing this, you combine reading, social studies, and STEM. You can also incorporate hands-on activities like researching a historical architecture, which would incorporate social studies, and then having students replicate it themselves with different art materials, which would be using art. Challenges. In K-3 grades, teachers must strike a balance between depth and complexity. For CC instruction can seem complex with younger students. Secondly, assessing CC instruction may require alternative assessment methods such as observations and portfolios, which might be difficult to collect data. In grades 4 to 8, in grades 4 to 8, you can use lots of project-based learning, which would Project-based learning recognizes that children have different learning styles. PBL presents multiple ways to generate students' work through hands-on and interactive activities. PBL also promotes student exploration, making judgments, and synthesizing information into meaningful ways. CC instruction uses scaffolding by building off of students' previous background knowledge and building on this background knowledge throughout the lesson. It also uses lots of like concept maps, which focuses on one main idea or topic and then builds off of it into many different avenues in various ways. Some challenges that that 4th to 8th grade teachers may face is sticking to the curriculum standards, and it must be a team effort with other teachers, requiring lots of collaboration, and may require some extra planning with other teachers and coordinating with logistics. Utilize cross-curricular planning. How cross-curricular content connections aligns with reading content standards. The design of Common Core standards and ELA instruction is organized to allow for cross-curricular instruction. CCSS Common Core standards heavily supports a goal is to have cross-curricular instruction across subjects, especially in secondary education. Let's look at a couple of examples from different standards. CCSS ELA Literacy RH 6 to 8.9 analyzes the relationship between a primary and secondary source on the same topic. The standard incorporates students reading for it practices ELA standards by having students analyze the difference between two texts, and incorporates social studies by having students read primary and secondary historical pieces and sources. Another example is CCSS.ELA Literacy RH 6-8.10. By the end of grade 8, read and comprehend history, social studies text in the grade 6 to 8 text complexity, and independently and professionally. This standard connects social studies and ELA skills by expecting students to be able to independently read and comprehend social studies text, connecting both subject areas. And last one is CCSS.ELA-literacy.RST.6-8.7, integrate quantitative or technical information expressed in words in the text with a version of that information expressed visually. The standard integrates STEM and ELA subjects by having students read technical information and write a summary using transitions and visual expression in writing. This also supports math and science concepts by having students use flowcharts, graphs, etc., and their write-up. In these 3 examples, we see that not only does Common Core Standards support cross-curricular instruction, but it also requires and expects it. For the next slide. Example of cross-curricular lesson for K to 3rd grades. In this lesson plan, students would focus on plant life cycle exploration. So this could be done in 2 days or over a week if the teacher wanted to, but it incorporates science, reading, art, and math, and writing. So students would read a picture, or a teacher would read a picture book about plant growth, showing stages from seed to full plant, which would incorporate science and reading. Students would then draw a simple picture showing the plant stages and use basic shape, lines, and circles, art, and math. Students would then write a short answer about the drawing they drew, identifying each plant life cycle, writing. And then in the next class, if the teacher wanted to do an extension on this lesson, they could all plant lima beans, and every day create a drawing of what they observed, write a sentence to describe the drawing, and identify the plant life cycle stage. And the assessment could be students could create a portfolio over their different drawings that they've done for each day for when observing the lima bean plant. They could do a collage or an essay on their findings. And then for an example of cross-curricular lesson plan for 4th to 8th grades, this lesson investigates natural disasters. Students will understand the science behind natural disasters, calculate the potential impact of natural disasters on a population, and analyze geographical factors that influence disaster risk. This would be this lesson maybe could be turned into a unit. So students would build on prior knowledge for what they know about disasters already and the impact that it has on people. Then They would split up into small groups and research specific types of natural disasters and provide informational text for each group and research the science behind the assigned natural disaster. Students could create a poster, collage, multimedia representation, some other alternative assessment. And then the whole class would get together and look at how natural disasters affect large numbers of population or large numbers of casualties, damage, costs, etc. Students then would calculate the estimation of potential number of casualties or cost damages, working on estimation, math, economics, and statistics. And then you could go on to introduce the concepts of geographical factors such as fault lines, coastal areas, etc., provide maps or allow students to look at these areas on their own on their iPads or tablets. And then lastly, have the groups present their findings and some sort of alternative assessment. And then to wrap it all up, just want to talk about how it's important for talk about the importance of cross-curricular instruction. We should start integrating it into our lesson plans and units as best as we can. So cross-curricular instruction may seem overwhelming at first because of all the different avenues and integrations that a teacher can take, but try to keep it simple by starting with one main topic, question, or idea, and then brainstorm how to incorporate other subject areas. Concept maps, as I mentioned, can be very helpful with visualizing what connections can be made while making sure to stick to the main topic and the standards and objectives. ELA is probably the easiest subject to connect to all the different subjects for